Good morning. Welcome to Politics and Power on TSLNIGERIA TV. Mr. Faris, Nigeria is fast becoming like the proverbial tortoise. That you go to bed, the next morning you're waking up, is one story that leaves you, or that leaves sour taste in your mouth. So it's quite sad that we have leaders that we've elected, expecting them, we entrusted them with our vote, expecting that they have all it takes to take us from where we are to where we expect to be. That's not what we see. A lot of our, especially this issue of this, the federal government. I don't want to mention name now. The federal government donating or playing the big brother role by donating up to $1 billion naira to 1.5 billion naira to purchase security vehicles for the Niger Republic. Come on, why all that? When we are the amount of insecurity that is grappling us as a nation is even more compared to the one they have in Niger. What's Niger? Niger is like the mass of Edo states, and you are donating such amounts to them for them to tackle insecurity in the country. It's quite sad. Quite sad.
Yeah, it's very sad when you look at it, because our security architecture here is underfunded. The police is underfunded. If you go to many police stations today, they have no computers. They have no systems for capturing data. You see people are arrested and they don't even take their information. And the police they are still using vehicles that some of them they bought for them in maybe like in the 90s in some police stations, and particularly those in the rural areas. You know, what we spend on security in Nigeria is shameful to look at it, because we don't take it serious. Yeah. And to think that Nigeria now has the money, we don't have the money to fund our own security, but have the money to donate to other countries that are even having lesser security challenges than we're having. If you go right now, you see that in most of the forests in the country, bandits have taken over the most forest. We don't have forest guards that we used to have before, because the country cannot afford to pay them. Universities are closed. A lot of students are at home because the country cannot afford to pay 200 billion naira to university professors and lecturers and all of that. But we have money to donate to other countries.
That is even my concern. My concern is not, because growing up as a young lad in the primary school and history classes, we are told that Nigeria is not just a country existing on its own. We're actually the big brother of Africa. We're actually the giants of Africa.
That's correct.
And you see, when those days, they tell you that our military forces, they are moving to countries in Africa. You hear of the ECOMOG, you hear of these peacekeeping forces. Yes. And yes, we've always played that role. But at this point in time, when our leaders are telling us that the reason why our economy is down, the reason why nothing is working is because we don't have funds. And you can't afford, you can't take care of your family, you are going out to do things to get applaud. It's quite sad. It's quite sad. We shouldn't even be donating. At this point in time, Nigeria should come cap in hand, begging people, asking these nations and telling them that Niger Republic, you know, we have been there for you before. Liberia, remember there was a time we were there for you, but this time we don't have money. You guys should come to our rescue, come and help us. It's time for us to even call for these West African countries to come and help us fighting security. There's no need to you to hide. Things are not working for you as a nation. Come out openly and tell them that, come on, we thought we would be able to handle these insecurity issues. Liberia, if people can just bring your military troop and send them to stay in the southeast to handle this, what's it called, this unknown government issue. Yes. We asked Niger, can you guys help us handle the ones in northeast? Let them come and help us this time. I think Nigeria as a nation, we need help. Instead of still...
You are correct, we need help. There was a time Nigeria was the big brother of Africa.
We're doing it.
You know, there was an active war in Liberia, a civil war in Liberia. There was a civil war in Sierra Leone. At the same time, people were in Sierra Leone. That was so bad that they were chopping up. The rebels were chopping off arms of people in villages and all of that. And Nigerian troops were sent to those places to restore order. Particularly in Liberia, Liberia, it was so bad in Liberia that the young rebels that were recruited, they were into cannibalism. They were killing people and eating them.
Like what we are seeing in the southeast.
Yes, you know, so Nigerian soldiers went in there and restored law and order in Liberia. Liberia is a free country today. Liberia is a democratic country
That's a country.
Yes, that's a country.
And
yes.
Nigeria cannot even, our military cannot even have issues in this region.
So it tells you how much we have gone back in terms of security in Nigeria, how much we have gone back. And it tells you also how much these other countries that had issues, how much they've developed within that time. Look at Ghana, for example. Let's take Ghana. Ghana is a very good example. In the late 70s, during the time, and early 80s, during the time of, what was his name, Shehu Shagari, we had Ghanaians. Ghanaians were doing domestic staff work in Nigeria. I'm talking about educated Ghanaians.
Yeah.
You have them
That's
doing
the shoemaker.
Yes.
Yes,
because Ghana was so poor, Ghana was so bad then that they all trooped into Nigeria looking for. They had over 4 million Ghanaians living in Nigeria. Ghana has a population the size of Lagos. Right now, the population of Ghana is around 20 million. That's just the size of Lagos. In the early 80s, when Ghana was around 10 million people, they had, of that 10 million, had 4 million of them living in Nigeria. Because Nigeria was doing well. Nigeria was good. They all, that's just only Ghana. I'm not talking about other African countries that were living in Nigeria. Only Ghanaians were around 4 million in Nigeria. You have Sierra Leoneans, you have Liberians, you have so many of them living in Nigeria. Now, then there was this Ghana Must Go. That was how we had this, there's this bag we call Ghana Must Go
bag.
The reason why they call that bag Ghana Must Go is that at that time, it was a cheap bag. So when Nigerians started to say, well, Ghanaians must leave the country, Ghanaians were seen using that bag to pack their belongings and leave Nigeria. So they just coined that name for it, Ghana Must Go. So that's how things have changed for Ghanaians. Today, Nigerians are schooling in schools in Ghana. And they go to a course that you are doing in Nigeria that will take you 4 years. In Ghana, it will take you the 4 years. You finish it in 4 years. In Nigeria, that course will take you like 6 years.
If not more than.
Yes, because you have times where school will be on maybe for a year, a whole year. You have one whole year.
That's how you lose one session. Yes, that's what's going to happen now.
Yes, we're already going there.
Yes, that's what
Let me give you a
now.
practical example of it. Last year, 2021, ASU went on strike they went on strike 2 times last year. One of them was 3 months, and I think the other one was a month plus. In total, about 4 months. This year alone, we are going to 6 months or thereabouts. Yes, so if you add it to that last year, I started a program, a master's program last year in a Uniben. And when I started the program, I was supposed to finish at the end of the year. So we had strike and everything moved to this year. We came in early this year, we were trying to rush and do exams and just finish and say, okay, we're done. We went on strike again. And you see, there are people who have been paying rent in those schools now to remain. They are paying rent to remain. The economic loss that goes to the parents and all of that. You understand the kind of losses we get in Nigeria for no reasons.
Most of these girls, they will return back to school as mothers because they have gotten married, pregnant.
It happens.
You are trying to change the trajectory of their lives just because you don't know how to manage a nation. That will,
and the money we are talking about now, we're talking about, okay, let's look at it from this way. What is ASU asking for? They have an agreement that over some time, federal government will pay them 200 billion out of the 900 billion that they have been owed to them. The federal government says they don't have money. And you look at our budget in 2022, the federal government is going to spend over 1 trillion. Over 1 trillion on subsidy. We are going to spend around 3 to 6 trillion on servicing debts. But we don't have 200 billion
to give to this
just to put our students back in classes. But we have 6 trillion to service them because there are people who will make a whole fortune from those debts.
I think that brings us to one of the issues we're going to be discussing today, the issue of corruption. I think this is where we need to now sit down with the electorate to sit down and ask questions. You know, the last time we said there's something I was trying to come up with, that are we not tired of discussing primordial issues instead of discussing the main issues that affect the life of the common Nigerian? we start discussing issue of religion, issue of ethnicity. Who is the right man for the job? That's the kind of point. Let us know. The issue now is that I can't even hear this so-called presidential candidate telling me what they're going to do differently to better my life.
Exactly.
So why should I waste my votes? Sometimes they'll tell you, some of us will tell you that on election day we don't go out to vote. They'll say, if you don't vote, you have voted, indirectly voted for the wrong person. But the issue now is that the so-called persons we have on the ballot, there is no one telling that, there's no one that have a roadmap. Feasible ones.
A clear one.
A clear one that we see and say, okay, this is where if we go.
If implemented,
we're going to move from year to year. No.
Yeah.
Naira is crashing. This candidate, no one is saying, you say the ruling party is bad. We must flush them away. Flush them away, and that's how we flush the former one away.
Exactly.
And we are here now.
Exactly.
Is it about flushing them away?
And remember that the current government under President Muhammadu Buhari came on the premise of fighting corruption.
Yes.
And when they came in, Nigerians were hopeful. I, for one, I mean, I've been a member of the PDP. But even when Buhari came, I said, well, if he's going to fight corruption, it's something that everybody wants to see in Nigeria that has been addressed. But unfortunately, corruption has become like the epicenter of governance in Nigeria. There's massive corruption, not only with politics or with politicians or with government. There's corruption in the police. There's corruption in the military. There's corruption in every facet of our society. That's why it is so entrenched. Nowhere else, Mr. K. I've been to more than 16 countries in Europe. I've been to more than 10 countries in Africa. I've not seen any other country where corruption is so entrenched that you just pass money to the police on the road. You know the issue? The issue is this. You talk about these candidates coming in. They'll tell you that Buhari said he's going to fight corruption. APC said they are going to fight corruption. The question is, we didn't ask them how. Exactly. So we should move from I'm going to how. Because if somebody tells you that that's the roadmap.
If somebody tells you that I'm going to take you from Benin to Lagos, you ask the person how, because there are various ways to get to Lagos. Are you going by keke or you're going by bicycle? We should know. We should trekking. Tell me how. That's the question Nigerians, we are not even asking this candidate. They just come out and tell us, this current ruling party is bad. We are going to flush them out in 3 months. I'm going to, will not say, oh God, no, yes, good one. But how are you going to achieve this? Exactly. So once you ask them how, you deflate their this thing. And we don't have that sense of accountability. Let's take a practical example. Within 1999 and 2007, when Obasanjo left office, he said he spent $16 billion on power. Power, yeah. Not a single megawatt of power was generated or added. And he's telling you that he's not a corrupt person. Yes. And he left office, there was no single case of corruption instituted against this guy. Exactly. He's going out preaching, talking in various fora, that is the most disciplined president. And the next government came in, and we're seeing the same thing. And we reduced, and they reduced from even the so-called 15, they reduced to 12. Yes. And these guys will tell you that they have done their best. And the next government will still come in and will say simply, you know the reason why? Is because, like you rightly said, we don't demand a clear roadmap. No. Let's say somebody say, I will take you to Lagos, Mr. Kerry. If 5 people are running to say they will take you to Lagos, and Mr. A says, I will take you to Lagos by trekking, you know that it's impossible. It's possible to trek to Lagos, but you probably spend months on the road. I'll be exhausted. And that's if you will survive the journey. If somebody says, I'll take you to Lagos on a bicycle, you know that, okay, on a bicycle, I will most likely do maybe like 2 weeks or 1 week to get to Lagos, depending on how much energy I have to paddle. And if somebody says, okay, I'm going to take you to Lagos on the boat we can do from Ondo, and you know that, okay, I don't want, I might be expecting pirates on the route to Lagos. If somebody says, I will take you to Lagos by Degbe motors or by any other public transport vehicles, okay, you might expect, okay, I might be in Lagos in 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. If somebody says, I'm going to take you to Lagos by flight, you might be saying, okay, I might be in Lagos in 25 or 30 minutes. So you choose. So you have your choices. Yes. But what we have here is that everybody just says, same thing. I will take you to Lagos, but nobody is telling you how. Buhari says, I will solve corruption. The same thing. Obasanjo said he will solve corruption. Jonathan said he will solve corruption. But nobody has come out to say, okay, this is how I'm going to solve corruption. This is how I'm going to make sure that police
on the road will not be extorting Nigerians, that people will not be giving bribes openly.
I even saw a video. You see this issue? I even saw a video yesterday of this new, after NSAS, they came up with SWATs.
Yes.
I saw these SWATs guys checking someone's phone.
Yes.
Somebody was not saying that, is this not the same thing that they
talked about here?
The truth is, these guys, they can do anything because they know our country.
Yes. We have a culture of corruption.
A culture. It's there. It's part of us. So we need to, it has to be beyond what we are seeing now.
Yes.
If status quo continue, all we are going to do change of party.
Yes, exactly.
If we're going to do change of individual.
And that's what we'll be having.
Nothing changes.
That's what we'll be having.
It remains. Even if the price is going to be changed, nothing will change. Nigeria is going to remain like that. Election is going to come and go. We are going to have elect leaders.
Yes.
But you discover that at the end of the day, Nigeria might even end up being worse off compared to where we're coming from. And I tell you, if we are not going to get it right this time, if we elect leaders that make Nigeria worse than what we have now,
I'm talking about...
We'll be killing ourselves for survival.
Yes, I'm talking about the fight against corruption. Maybe let's look at the facts. I think in the year 2000, the then President Obasanjo set up the FCC.
Yeah.
And set up also in 2001, he set up the ICPC. The ICPC was supposed to complement the FCC. Yeah. The FCC is like a branch of the police force, but though they don't like to be called the police because of the image the Nigerian police force have given themselves over the years. But there are one or two successes with one or two political arrests, but as you can tell, no successful conviction. No successful every time they arrest somebody, they either end up with plea bargains. When the FCC was formed then, they put Nuhu Ribadu, he made a high-profile arrest, which is arresting the man who was just buried last Friday, which is the late IGP Tafa Balogun, who was arrested then as the serving Inspector General of Police was arrested for misappropriating police funds. Yeah. Everybody was saying, oh, maybe we want to get it right. Maybe we are moving in the right direction now. Maybe we are moving right in terms of fighting corruption. But over the years, within the APC and the PDP, fight against corruption has fizzled out.
Let me say, sometimes we hit at the EFCC.
Yes.
We feel that they are not doing their job. There's a particular arm of government that we are not looking at. They are the most corrupt. If there's anybody that have frustrated the EFCC in terms of their operations, the judiciary. And that's the truth. And take it or leave it. Because these guys, it's a government body now. What you can do is to arrest this man and present this guy in court. But this guy have money to fix the judge. What happened? Or the judge will not release somebody. EFCC say they will not release. We've seen cases where now that DSS will say, DSS they know too well that this person does not deserve to be released and they want to kill the person. The judge will say, this is contempt of court. We have released this person. Because they know too well that this guy should be behind bars. We've seen cases like that before.
Yeah, but Mr. K, but you also know that the EFCC over the years have become a political tool.
Yes. Not only
with this government, but it has been like that. Every government wants to use the EFCC as a tool to arrest, intimidate, and do all these things.
Let me tell you, sometimes I ask this question, who is the leaders? Who is the EFCC? It's not the same Nigeria. The issue we have is more of followership than even a leadership issue. Because why? It's a bad follower that becomes a leader. So you can't expect a bad follower to become a good leader. So the issue is, your first one is a culture. Who is working in the EFCC office?
Nigerians. They're not Ghanaians.
It's part of the system.
Yeah.
The truth is, the way Nigeria is now, everybody that gets into any office, please, that's the word. There's this advice you get. Please, when your friends tell you congratulations, they are congratulating you, not because they know you deserve to be there. Congratulating you because they know that you've made it. That you have been able to survive poverty. You have been able to capture. So the congratulation that comes when you win any election or you get appointed to any, even as a local government chairman, you see the congratulations. Yes. I will do one big frame and put in your office.
Yes.
You know what? I'm congratulating you to let you know that, my brother, our time has come. That's the word. So, and you expect me to disappoint my people.
So corruption is encouraged by Nigerians.
Yes.
Nigerians are the ones who occupy these offices, who are police, who are the military, who are in the judiciary.
Yes. No, you know why? Because our leaders, they have been able to weaponize poverty. It's a tool that they have used to fight us. The truth is this. Anybody, I know people will tell me when they will shout now on the comment section and tell you that Come on, it's discipline thing. There's some persons you will put in position. They will be very disciplined. The truth is this. A poor man, it's rare to trust a poor man. You know what it means to survive?
So are you saying that there are no poor men that have integrity?
No, I'm not saying, I say rare. You see the word
okay,
I
it's
use
rare,
there?
okay.
Very, very.
Okay.
If a poor man that needs to, you see, let me tell you one thing. You are a small clerk in your office and your child is in the hospital, admitted in the hospital.
I want to
yes, and you need to discharge that or buy drugs for your child. They want to do operation. And you are in the office, you have the opportunity to add 0 to 1,000 naira to make it 100,000. So you can be able to make 99,000 and pay for the drugs for your child. Because the government is not doing anything about your child. Normally, as a civil servant, there should be a scheme that takes care of health care for your child.
Exactly.
The government is not doing that. And you see the figures looking at you, eyeball to eyeball, only to add 1 0. They will not add the 0. You see, sometimes I like talking reality.
You are very realistic on
yes.
this one, and I want to agree with you 100% because I have that same conversation with the police officer one day. I say, why are you guys so brought yourself down to the stage of taking 200 naira, 100 naira from motorists on the road? You see, my brother, that they've not been paid for 4 months.
Good.
And if you try to resist or they call it mutiny, and then you are sent to prison or you're even discharged and all of that. You know, so, and then he said, have you not seen the living conditions of police officers, like go to their barracks and everything? And he pointed them to me and said, go and look at the barracks and look at where people who are supposed to be law enforcers. Because if you say somebody is a law enforcer, and you don't pay the person well, and you don't look at the person well, the person will compromise. And that's the truth. And that's where you just hit the nail. That's the truth.
Compromise.
It's the same thing with the civil service.
The society creates crime. People commit it.
Exactly.
What the society does is that it creates crime and it makes people to commit. Look at it, ASUs on strike, nurses on strike.
Yes.
These are lecturers.
Yes.
These lecturers are fathers.
Yes.
They are mothers.
Yes.
They have family. A situation when I'm a lecturer, my wife is a non-academic staff.
Yes.
We are both on strike. Who feeds the family?
Who feeds the family, yeah.
Which means my daughter is going to go into prostitution because she needs to eat, she needs to buy clothes, she needs to look like her friends. My sons, what happened? There's no food in the house. They want to sit down and die. Why wait to die? There's a story in the Bible like that. Why should we sit down here and death come upon us? Let us go into the city. That's why you see a lot of people going into the city to survive, stealing generators to survive. You see, that is why I said, if we must curb this issue of corruption, our leaders should stop weaponizing poverty. They should stop it. And they enjoy it too, because they know that you just imagine a situation when everybody is doing well as a nation. You will be so sane to know the right person to elect into position.
Okay, now talking about corruption, you see, like Mr. K rightly said, Nigeria today, we have over 100 million people living in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty.
You are not saying it well. Nigeria today is the poverty capital.
Poverty capital of the world.
And we are residing in the poverty capital.
Yes, we have more than 100 million people living in extreme poverty. That's people who cannot spend $1 in a day.
$1.
There are so many people in Nigeria today who cannot even earn it. So if we are talking about corruption, we also have to talk about the fact that corruption and poverty, they go hand in hand in most countries. Because if you look at most countries where the people are, the standard of living are high, you see that corruption is very low. Let me give you some example. Australia, Saudi Arabia, Denmark. You see there are countries where the poverty level is almost 0. Yeah. But then you see that the wages, the living standard is also very high. So people are well paid. And when somebody is well paid, the tendency that the person will go into crime, that the person will want to compromise, is very difficult. For example, if you had, like our senators, for example, I know Nigeria is a unique case of not a country where you should never cite examples, whether good or bad. Yeah. For example, can we say that our senators, our elected reps, are not well paid? Look at a governor, for example, in Nigeria. The average salary, the basic salary of a governor in Nigeria is 600,000 a year. 600,000 a year. But you go to governors, and sometimes they will dash you 6 million. And nobody will ask where that money comes out from. Okay.
So we're asking why our leaders corrupt. Because they are doing.
I'm not asking. I'm just saying that. You see that in most countries where people are well paid, there's a tendency that people will not commit crime.
Yes.
Because the standard of living is very high.
Yes.
Everybody have, if you go if you go to Sweden or Denmark, for example, you see hospitals are free. In 2010, a child died in Denmark. A woman died in Denmark while giving birth. It was a national emergency. It was on the news like every day. Oh, somebody died. Like, how can somebody die from giving birth? It's something that they don't want to hear it. An accident will happen on the road. Somebody died. They will call for investigation. From the federal government will call investigation. The state government will call an investigation. The municipal government will call an investigation to find out how did this accident happen? Did the guy have bad brakes? Was he drunk? It's because they give premium to life in these countries. Yes. But you see, here, people they tend to go into crime because nobody cares how you live.
Right.
That's what you said before.
Government of our
own. You provide everything for yourself. Yes, look at, I live in Amagba. When I built my house in Amagba, the road to my house, I brought bulldozer to grade the road. I built the house myself. I provided a borehole in my house. So I provide my water. I employed a security guard in my house. But I'm still paying till tomorrow. I bought dogs to guard the same house. Then I bought generator. Last 2 years, I spent about 2 million to upgrade and buy solar in the same house. Because so what does the government do for me?
Nothing.
And that's the story of everybody, whether the poor, the middle class, or the rich.
Nothing.
So we have a government that doesn't do anything for Nigerians.
That's why I said they weaponize poverty.
Exactly.
They need it.
You said
and
it
you say something about the politician. The amount of salary he receives is big enough for you not to think of collecting.
Yes, but they still collect.
You know why they collect? They collect because they have the poverty mindset. A man that has poverty mindset is never satisfied. And that's why I said...
You said something interesting.
That's why I said poverty is a weapon that's being used.
Even on themselves.
On themselves. Poverty mindset. It's never enough. They are scared.
Yeah.
They don't want to return back to where they are coming from. And that's the truth. That's why on this note I'm going to end the show.
Yeah.
That's why we as parents, what we need to do is that we need to take our time to work on the mindset of our kids. Let's not allow them to have this poverty mindset. It is poverty mindset that will make a man to take more than they can chew. Remember, even in the Bible, when God was bringing manna for heaven, he said, eat the one that will serve you for this night. Don't keep. If you keep in the morning,
it will go bad.
It will go bad. That's how
to teach them how to be.
Yes, how to work on poverty mindset. Yes. It's poverty mindset that makes a man to amass more than they can eat. But the truth is,
someone just 80 billion.
They close their eyes, they might not open it the next day. Poverty mindset will not let them know that we only have but a short time to live on planet Earth.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They'll keep amassing this wealth. You see somebody now, like I'm living in Nigeria. I have 2 kids. I'm building houses all over Nigeria, stealing people's land, confiscating properties, building houses everywhere.
Just for 2 children.
Just for 2 children. And you know what? These children, they will tell you that they are going to travel abroad. They will go to the US. The only time they will come to Nigeria is when they want to do my burial.
Yes.
They will never come to Nigeria. Yes. Who am I building those houses for? Poverty mindset. And it's an issue. And that's why our religious leaders, the imam, the pastors, they need to help us do this. As parents, we have a role to play. Let us, this generation, we need to work on this generation and let them know that you don't need to amass more than you can eat. The needs of man is so basic. That's why it's called basic need of man. Food, clothing, and what? And shelter. Once you're able to get this, you move from survival stage. It's how to succeed. And you don't need to struggle too much to succeed. But when you have this poverty mindset, you will not want to have commissioners as a governor. You will not want to have local government chairman. You want to eat it. You know. I think it's on this note we need to wrap up the show today so that we don't get to shake table as we normally shake on this show and somebody break leg.
Thank you, Mr. K. It was a very nice conversation for today. Thank you for watching this episode of Politics and Power on TSL Nigeria TV. Please do well to follow our YouTube page, our Facebook page. Click the like button, hit the share button, share it. And we're also open to sponsorship. If you want to sponsor this program, just contact us through the numbers on the screen. Thank you very much.
Stay connected. connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.